Well, I left the church when I was 18. Really didn't feel God was necessary in my life. And once I was able to get out of high school, I left and just decided I'll live my life like I want to live it. No accountability, no God. And I was very prideful and I left. That's the reason why, pretty much.
How much do we really care about the kids in our ministry? I mean, we paint such a rosy picture of ministry sometimes. Numbers are up, people are involved, everyone's excited, things are happening. And yet we fail to step back and realize that there's some drop-off happening in the ministry as well. You know, and so often this drop-off happens in these transitional times of ministry between children's ministry and youth ministry and adult ministry. It's almost as though our church ministries aren't much more than a series of ladders and silos. It starts in the children's ministry environment, where we create a ladder to get kids engaged in the church, and we create this great children's ministry to help them come to know Jesus and enter into a relationship with Him. And yet at some point, childhood is over, and so they move on to the next area of ministry. We create yet another ladder and have kids get involved in the youth ministry in the church. And so we've got outreach and evangelism happening there and discipleship to deeper levels. And yet once again, there's another transition that happens. So they once again fall off into this gap. And then we build another ladder up to adult ministry. So we've got small groups and Sunday school classes and a variety of ministries to help adults get engaged in the church. The issue isn't so much the silos that happen in the church. We want great ministries to happen at each stage of life. What's concerning to me more is the transitions in between. And realizing that after they're no longer kids and they fall into this gap, not all of them pick up to the next ladder. Same with teenagers. When they fall into that gap, not all of them climb back up the next ladder again. What does it look like in our ministries if we're not building ladders, but we're building bridges? If the children's ministry workers aren't just thinking about children's ministry, but they're also concerned about youth and adults. If the youth leaders aren't just thinking about teenagers, but they're concerned about the people who will become teenagers and the people teenagers will become. If the adult workers in the church aren't just thinking about adults, but are concerned about the next generation coming up the way. We know that God is in control, yet He's called each of us to serve in this specific area of ministry for the purpose of pouring into these young lives. Our challenge, though, is to carry that passion, not just for this specific ministry, but through the transitions, over the bridges of ministry, to make sure that we end up with fewer stories of drop-off and more stories of lives transformed forever in Jesus Christ.